What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Daniel, aka DUECEZ, and we are doing a brake job on a 2014 Honda Accord. So first things first, you want to get all your tools set up that you need for the car. This one, the caliper bolts that go into the side pins, those are 12 millimeters, and if you happen to need something to hold this, I believe it is a 14. If not, I could be wrong. It is a 16, or it is a 17, my bad. I will put all the tools in the description below. Now the bolts that hold the caliper bridge on, those are 17s as well. You might need yourself either an open-ended or a box style wrench because a socket will not fit on the top due to the upper ball joint nut. While we have everything off, a couple videos ago, someone was very upset that I used anti-seize on some of the bolts, so we are going to go ahead and stick with brake lube. The other thing also you want to do when you're doing your brake job is you want to make sure that your rotors are correct. So you take them and you put them side by side, make sure they're both even, and you always want to check the hat of your car, the hat of your drums as well, to make sure they fit. And I apologize about that. The other thing that I would like to go over too is grab yourself a brush and just clean up the caliper bridges as well. You want to make sure you get all the brake dust, any rust, any blemishes, anything that could cause the hardware to not sit properly. And what you also want to do is you want to make sure that you clean out the old grease off your slide pins. That way there's nothing that could potentially cause these to get stuck. And you really don't want to use a lot. You want to use a little bit of a light film. Wipe it in there, put it in, move it back and forth. Now, someone will probably say, well, your hands are dirty, which creates dirty grease. But you're doing brakes. Your hands are going to get dirty. And someone else is probably going to say, you shouldn't be wearing gloves. And that's okay. Do your brake job, do your services on your car, how you feel like doing them. Let's open up our hardware. You also want to make sure that your hardware is the same as your old hardware. And same thing, you want a little bit of a light film on the hardware. That way the pads can move freely. We're going to move over to the car. Just give me a second. Alright, so we're at the back of the car. We're on the driver's side. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a wire brush, a angle grinder or something, and clean up the hub. That way that nothing can keep the rotor from moving out a little bit or sitting crooked so on the hub. The other thing too is there is the spinning calipers, because the parking brake is incorporated with the caliper. So what I like to do is I'll put the rotor on this way, grab myself a can of brake clean, clean that up. Someone will probably say, just take a rag, wipe it down. I'll do that after I get everything back together. Now, the other thing that I like to do is see these little hold down screws. I put a little anti-seize on there. Someone's probably going to tell me that's wrong, but that's all right. You do you. If you feel comfortable putting a little bit of anti-seize on, go ahead. Sorry. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. Yes, I know the rotor is extremely dirty and I will clean it up, so give me just a second. Alright, so I got the caliper bracket on the rotor as cleaned up as best as possible. The 17mm bolts right there and up there. You can see where that bolt is that I was talking about earlier. There are torque specs for these, but I'm assuming if you're doing this in your driveway, you don't have a torque wrench on you, so just make sure you have it tight enough to where they're not going to come loose, but just don't over tighten them. Now, next step is the pads have markings on them. You can see this one says outer, so we're going to go ahead and put this on the outer side of it, and with those lubed right up, it slides right in. I'm going to go ahead and this one says inside left hand side, and this says inside right hand side. This is the left hand side, so that squealer is on the bottom. And these actually come with these little springies that keep the pads away from the rotor. So it's going to be a little difficult for me to do this with one hand, so let me see if I could prop this up somewhere. This. And this. You're going to take your caliper, slide it over, give it a little tap with your hand. Like I said, here's your two 12mm. Slide those in. Might have to give it a little push for that to sit right. And earlier in the video, I said you're probably gonna need a 17mm to get those to sit right, or to hold the slide pin from moving. And also, these have a torque stick as well, but I don't have those either. Again, if you're in your driveway, you probably don't have a torque wrench, so just tighten enough to where they're not over tightened. And then give the rotor a little spin to make sure it's not making any noise. And then repeat the same thing on the other side. I hope this helps anybody. Till next time, deuces.